So your boy has a lot of shoes, a lot. There's more in there, and believe it or not, there's a crap ton more inside. And we need to find a place to put them. And so we have this little shoe rack here that was actually given to me by a friend. It's already filled to the brim. We still have shoes all over the place, and we need to organize this garage a little bit better. As you can see, we made some changes over here. We rearranged the gym. If you've seen it in other videos, the machines up front were back here, and we just configured it a little bit different. But now a problem I have is the shoe problem. So what I do know is I have a stud here, and a stud there. I believe they're on 22 inches apart. I kind of don't want to walk out and then cut this corner and boom, it straight up hit a shelf. So I think we're just gonna build the shelf from here up. So we're probably gonna build it to the point where we might even cover this outlet. That's my Wi-Fi repeater. So we got a bunch of scrap wood. We should have plenty to do this project. Yeah, so they're gonna be whatever this almost 2 feet wide, and we'll stack them. We should be able to fit like 3 to 4 pairs of shoes depending on the side per shelf, and we're just gonna go all the way up, probably all the way up to here, probably eye level. We'll see. We'll space them out. We'll see how it goes. For our shelves, I'm going to be using these triangles. Very simple design, very, very strong enough to stand on. We use this for scaffolding in construction all the time. Very simple, very strong. So here's some of the prep cuts right here. We got 12 inches here, 12 and a half. And basically these are going to turn into triangles. And we're reinforcing the triangles with triangle sheets out of plywood. They're going to look something like this. These things are stupid strong, even without a diagonal here. Since we're just putting shoes, I'm not going to do a diagonal here. I'm just going to keep it with the plywood. Still, I would even feel comfortable standing on this thing, especially if you put the plywood in the right direction, which I didn't do every single time. So plywood is going to be way stronger this way than it is that way. But still, it's, this is just for shoes, and anything else you want to put on there. So I got to make one more set, and we're gonna do a 3-tier set. A little bit of a problem. I'm gonna have to chop these down a peg, because if I didn't, these little triangles, it's just way too, this thing would have been way too high from the floor up. It'd have been like 20 inches from the floor if I kept it like this, because we have that molding there. I don't want to take the molding out, so to fix it, we're just gonna chop off this bottom part of it and then screw it in place like everything else. So we're gonna scribe it and then chop it with a saw. All right, we're gonna chop off these edges. We relocated the screw, and we're just gonna put it on the skill saw. It should be fine. All right, there you go. That's all 3 shelves. This one's a nice height. Actually, might not even put any shoes on this height. Just keep this as like a bar top. But we'll have 3 heights for shoes. We can probably fit 3 to 4 pairs. We are gonna run it a little long on the back side, probably 3 inches maybe. So we're gonna cut some boards and then lay on top. I'm gonna start from the bottom up. What I just realized that I didn't do for these 2 is I didn't space these 2, because it's already 12 inches, but I just realized if I spaced it, I could run a board straight to the wall. So now it's gonna get stopped here. I can always just slide it up. I might do that. I'm gonna do this bottom one first, see how I like it, flush to the wall, and then go from there. All right, that's what the bottom shelf looks like. Like I said, I feel very comfortable standing on this thing. Very sturdy design. I could have easily just bought some triangles at Home Depot. Probably would have spent about at least 35, 40 bucks, maybe a little bit less.
and some metal ones, but you know, I had this wood laying around, and honestly, I think these are stronger than the metal ones. I wouldn't stand on the metal ones. I'd definitely stand on these ones, even though we're only going to put some shoes on there. But they are built to hold heavier things. One thing I do need to probably do on this last one is actually build a rim right here, maybe some type of fascia board. Probably just going to rip down one of these and put it right on front. Just because I want the top one to be a little sturdier and the back, because I might end up like putting things on. And what's going to happen is, not that it wouldn't hold, but the plywood will start drooping over time. So if I put like a brace here and maybe one in the back, it won't droop so much once I put heavier things on there, because knowing me, I'm going to put heavier things on there. But this is basically how it's going to look. Oh yeah, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but I spaced that. Just stuck a piece of plywood there. Not perfect. It's probably not leveled anymore, but I don't really care. It's a little low on this side. A lot low, 1/4 inch. We'll space it. We'll put a shim on the thing. But yeah. It's not terrible. Well, that's the furthest out too. So yeah, it's level in the back. That's just because there's a lot of play with this. Once we put the plywood in, there's going to be less play. All right, that's pretty much how it's going to look like. Definitely going to have to put that brace out here in the front of this one. And I just realized that I should have left it. I should have left some length on it to cover it up. But now it's all right. I'll just make it flush. So I'll just rip 2x3, rip it in half, and I'll just brace the front of this like that. I didn't pay attention, and I didn't realize that this one's all messed up front, but that's fine. It gives it character, right? It's not supposed to, like, you know, it's not like high-end shelf. Literally, we built this thing with scrap wood, you know, literally one full stick, 2x3. We spent more money on screws, I feel like. The plywood obviously is a little expensive. I think this was full sheet was like $22, but still about $10 worth of plywood, not even. So yeah, relatively inexpensive, building it all out of wood, versus buying like metal frames. I would say altogether we spent about maybe $12-15 total with the screws. Well, she ain't the prettiest thing ever, but it works. Just essentially 3 pairs of shoes. Like, you can kind of sneak in 4 pairs. So all that means is we gotta go. I don't really want to go any higher, but I think we're gonna have to add another 3 shelves, because my goal is to get rid of this little rack here. Now that I think about it, I could have just done that. I could just pull that bottom one, move it up top, because I don't think that will fit. But actually, I want to put this in the front yard, so that's gonna go in front. Put shoes up front there, just to keep that nice and clean. Still, ultimately, I think the problem is I got a lot of shoes. So we still have this rack that's full. We still have about 6-7 pairs in here. A bunch of this stuff can go inside. Some of these are hiking boots that we haven't worn in a millennia. Yeah, a lot of these shoes can actually go inside. So I probably should still break down that box and consolidate a lot of these. These shoes that I wear but don't wear often. I like to keep them out. Like, I think I've worn these Vans once, but just to keep this video short, there's a dead freaking grasshopper right there. It works. Shelf works. Definitely easily. We can definitely build a lot more. We have plenty of lumber. Literally, I could build another 3 shelves, 1 stick of 2x3, because we ripped these down. We technically don't even need all that space. We could just rip them down completely, but I just wanted as much purchase on that brace that goes against that wall, just so that if I had to move around, I could move the screws around and stuff. But yeah, it looks good. Gonna have to build more, but that's for another day. For now, I got at least most of the shoes that were like scattered around out of the floor. Sweet. Okay. It's getting together. It's coming together.